Hello! Look! We're back! Basketball! Folks! Fun things! It's not gloom and doom and despair. It's fun things. And it's amazing to be here at UK Media Day. The first time we get to interact with the Kentucky Wildcats for the upcoming 2025 sixth season. Jack Pilgrim, Jacob Polacheck here with Zack Geoghegan. In fact, I don't know if you want to tell them our little secret, Zach?
A well-named recruit just happened to walk by us right as we exited
maybe the number one
media
point
day.
guard in the country. Maybe Kentucky.
There are rules in place that prevent us from taking pictures, so you have to take our word for it. But Alvin Brooks and Jason Hart were just out here showing off Deron Rippey to the world. I believe he was in the site of the radio show this morning as well, from what I was listening. So yeah, Deron Rippey, Jacob Polacheck can probably tell us more about that recruitment. But yes, he is here, going to be here for the next few days. Jacob.
Yeah, he's in the middle of a very long visit tour. He's got 3 more upcoming visits after this, and Kentucky, he's really their number one, their only point guard target in this class right now, so they're making him a priority, and yeah, we saw him walking by. That was pretty fun, and you can find my story with his dad on KSR Plus.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, gotta plug KSR Plus, and he talked about all the schools involved, all their plans, so there's a lot to talk about in that recruitment.
Well, speaking of special guests, we look at this.
Wait a minute. Is this the rapid reaction
Yes, sir,
that I always
KSR.
see outside of the arena? Where are you going? Come
Only
on, redhead. What's it going?
only outside the arena, though.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, this is the first time I've been to one of these in like 2 or 3 years, but to see 3 celebrities in our midst, that's very exciting.
Well, today's a big day. Basketball season's here.
Yes.
Go Cats!
Go Cats.
Your reaction to your rapid reaction to what you just
I
saw.
like the guys. They seem like a lot of interesting personalities. I asked 6 of them a question about what they liked off the court, and they all had like an interesting thing, from anime to one guy said he was a poet. Those are not usual answers that you get at these. So I like this group.
Who's our poet? Who's the
Our poet, well, you got to have to watch the video,
Okay.
but it was
Yeah, no
Mohamed
teaser.
Diabate. I said to him, well, who's your favorite poet? And he said, Maya Angelou. Do you know how many years someone mentioned Maya Angelou at UK Basketball Media Day? The answer is 0. So that was kind of cool.
Do you think Tyler Hero knows who Maya Angelou is?
I think he probably thinks she's on Raya, but so I doubt it. But, Tyler's a good guy, too. But I was just thinking, this is my 20th year of these. So this was the 20th one. It's funny to see how they changed.
You asked Pope a couple questions. Did you get any of the answers
First
you
of
were
all,
looking for?
Well, you young media guy, I couldn't get a question in.
There's a lot of us in there.
I'm impressed. A lot of, it was good. I wish he had talked more about fighting Pat Kelsey.
Yeah.
I don't know why he wouldn't just admit that he fought Pat Kelsey.
Well, it kind of seemed like he did admit it, but he was like, I'm going to not really talk about it.
You got to play it up. No, I love Mark. He's great. He's great. And you guys are doing great. And I don't mean to crash it. I just wanted to say hello.
We need everyone's
Jacob,
reaction.
How's it going?
Rapid.
Doing great.
How's Kansas?
Kansas, I don't think.
Yeah, do you want to show what you just got?
For like Kansas. I mean, that is.
It's my alma mater. What can I say?
All right, I'll see you all.
Thank you, Matt.
Well, that was fun. Look all the special guests. We're just going to see Mark Pope come out here in a second and talk to us. Speaking of Mark Pope, Zach, any big picture takeaways that you heard talking to Mark Pope today?
Well, yes, as Matt was saying, he got asked about the Pat Kelsey situation, and he basically confirmed it happened, but was like, how should I lie about the story? That's literally what he said. He said, how should I embellish it, or whatever word I'm looking for there, exaggerate a little bit. So he didn't really go into that. I wish he would have taken the bait a little bit more, but main things he said, he talked for 40 minutes. 40 full minutes. I'm trying to rack my brain of all the things he said. He touched on pretty much every single player. One thing I will note is whenever Mo Diabate's name gets brought up, Mark Pope lights up. Just goes, talks like I think he started with Jalen Lowe and Aberdeen, said like a couple words on each, and then, talking about the transfers and what he likes about them. And then Mo Diabate's like, I can't say one word. And then he just went on.
It was literally like Jalen Lowe, cat, leader, quick. And it was like Mo Diabate,
winner.
Folks.
Aberdeen, winner. Mo Diabate, just went on for hours and hours on him. So, some very interesting Mo Diabate stuff. And our own Phoenix Stevens caught a moment. This is after Pope, but apparently Braden Hawthorne has a bunch of stitches in his top of his mouth right now and is not allowed to eat with his front teeth for the first for like another month because Mo Diabate accidentally elbowed him in the face to the point where he had to leave practice and go get stitches. So a lot of physicality happening in the Joe Kraft Center right now.
You asked a couple of questions, got one in about, roster building, how you navigate, hey, you have players that can come back, but you also have to recruit out of the high school ranks, but you also have to recruit the portal. Big take away from that?
Yeah, he talked about not needing that number one player, which I think we're all waiting on the decision of the number one player, Tyron Stokes, who's down to a top 5.
Quit burying the lead. Is he a cat or not?
We'll have to find out. But
Go to KSR Plus,
Go to
right?
KSR Plus and check out the latest intel.
This guy.
But yeah, he talked about
Plus.
a lot of the things that he's talked about in the past. It's not just based on talent, it's about fit and finding the right guys for the program. So I thought he gave a really good answer in that.
Player interviews.
Lots of them.
Absolutely adored this group. I'll be honest. Like there's just something about these guys that they're close, they're connected, and they all have the Maya Angelou answer is a perfect example of the things that we got to talk about. But nothing matters more than
the juicy stuff.
the
Let's get to it,
conversation
Jack.
I had with Andrea Yelovich, folks. So we remember the rumors. We remember the speculation about Big Z. Big Z arrives from Croatia. That's a grand old time. What an experience. The billboard, the eligibility, the delays, the Georgia game. Just so much beauty that came with that experience. Do you remember, Zach, the kind of the delays, the buzzard luck that John Calipari kept talking about, that he got food poisoning. He got sick.
Well, there was rumors of a chicken place. I think that was kind of the consensus back then. Was
Indies
some
was
sort of chicken place.
the rumor that was the issue.
And I think we all owe Indies an apology, all of us, because I love Indies personally.
I do too. Never had a bad experience at Indies.
Well,
Andrea Yelovich.
I have.
I asked him about his relationship with Big Z. Hey, did you watch that experience from afar? He said, absolutely. In fact, we've gotten pretty close talking about our experiences at Kentucky. In fact, he said that of all of the stops that he's made, Illinois, Arkansas, Kentucky, he says Kentucky is his favorite up to this point. So that was a little subtle thing that he just kind of slid in there. I was like, oh, love hearing that. Then I asked the big question, did he recommend or not recommend any food establishments around here, knowing what we know about his food poisoning? Can you guys guess the food? Mario, I asked Andrea Yelovich what food made Big Z sick a couple years ago when he first arrived from Croatia. You have to give a total guess of the food in Lexington that made Big Z sick.
A chain?
Yes. I'll give him that. It's a chain.
All right, it's
a chain. That's not local.
Okay, I'm going Texas Row House.
Let's just say there's one right behind you. There's
Tropical Cafe?
no, but that would be hilarious.
Papa John's.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Papa John's. The secret is out. We have finally learned why Big Z got sick when he first arrived. Fascinated me. A lot of talk about just, the transition into, playing at Kentucky and what's that been like. He said that he instantly committed when he first got the phone call from Mark Pope. So it was cool to finally meet Andrea Yelovich. Great stuff there from them. But any other things that jumped out at you in terms of talking to the players? You finally got to talk to your walk-ons.
I got to talk to the walk-ons. One thing, I talked to Walker Horn, and I was like, I wanted to ask him about that experience going from Calipari to Pope, and he told me he found out like the rest of us with the Matt Norlander tweet. He had no idea who they were going to hire. He didn't get told in advance, so I found that interesting. He found out just like the rest of us.
I've got a couple other notes.
Absolutely. Let's keep it rolling.
So I was talking to Colin Chandler. There's a 5-star recruit about to potentially drive right past us in a golf cart. I don't think we're allowed to show him though, Steven. But there he goes right there. Anywho, so I was talking to Colin Chandler. He's been playing some backup point guard in practice. That was something I was asking about his ball handling and things like that, and he said that they all give the canned answer of I'll play on or off ball, whatever. But he did mention that he's been playing some backup point guard minutes, which I do think is interesting because Jalen Lowe can't play 40 minutes a game. He's probably going to have to sit out for about 10 minutes a game. So it's going to be interesting to see how Pope wants to probably do a committee point guard situation, ball handling. But I do think that there's been a lot of Colin Chandler buzz, so I thought that was interesting. Another fun one. So the Amari Williams podcast that came out recently, where this sun is going to make me look like I'm sleeping over here. The Amari Williams talking
I'm
about
sleeping over here.
Okay. Amari Williams was talking about how Mark Pope made them run 17-17s because someone was late, even though they were on time, but 5 minutes early is on time. So I asked Trent Noah about that, and he said that 100% happened, and he said that actually that is like the one thing that all of them, whenever if the players all get back together and they look back on last year, that's one of the 3 things that they talk about. They talk about the on-court play, how much fun they had, and then that exact moment, because that was the last time that anyone had ever showed up late to a meeting when Mark Pope made them all run 1,000 sprints essentially. And Trent Noah said on the 6th 17, which is basically just running end to end 17 times. So on the 6th time of doing it, he said he started to black out, and I think they stopped around like 12 or 13 eventually. But it is interesting that they kind of all bonded over that moment, and no one seemed to care about it after that. So
Yelovich said he didn't have to do 17s. I think that's not fair.
get his ass on the line.
I think he needs to run. I think that the entire team needs to sit, pull chairs up, get a box of popcorn, and just watch.
Box of Papa John's. Just
well.
Sorry, are they a sponsor?
They're
not a sponsor.
I hope not. I hope not. But Yelovich needs to do a 17s.
Yeah, I say so too. We haven't. Well, you did get to talk to him for a little bit. So what else did you learn about him besides his connection with Ivisic? How's everything been coming along for him?
He said, as Pope alluded to, that he struggled. That there was a moment when he first arrived of, I don't know if I'm cut out for this, folks. Like, this stuff is really, really difficult. But said that the last couple of days of the last week, that something kind of clicked for him. He was like, I actually was getting a bunch of buckets, and he was kind of like...
He was top in the NOAA system when I was taking a peek at the little chart. His name was at the top of most of those as it was going by.
He was kind of like patting himself on the back and was like, I was kind of getting buckets last week, I'm not going to lie. So things definitely trending in the right direction, but just talking about the change of coaching styles and, the pace of play, the physicality, all of those things. I asked, well, what's the talent difference between where you are right now and where you were 2 months ago? And he was like, it's not even necessarily about the talent. He's like, well, I might be playing with one guy who is a top draft pick, but I'm also playing with 32-year-olds that have been, on the tail end of their career that are like desperate to make it for their one last shot. So he's like, it's a different type of vibe. But he said, I've never been around this much talent being able to, hey, there's a lottery pick. Oh, hey, there's a lottery pick. Oh, there's a future first-round pick. So he's like, it's just a different vibe, but way more talent here, and he's kind of going through the weeds of that right now.
The Mark Pope, Jaden Quaintance chess battle also continues. That was another notable thing that I took from this, is that Jaden Quaintance is so good at chess that Mark Pope has installed a rule where once a game he gets to flip the board around, and Jaden Quaintance is still winning, apparently, even when that happens. So I think I think Colin Chandler's also really good at chess as well. So we've kind of joked about getting a live stream between Pope and JQ on a chess match. I think people would legitimately pay money to actually watch that happen, and I would love to see Quaintance just kind of, and Pope even said it humbles him a little bit, getting beaten up at chess by a 17-year-old. So I'm sure it does.
I asked Jaden about his chess and where that came from. He said he was 8 years old, and his dad taught him when he was 8. But he said that the real kicker, where the fork in the road, where things really started turning it into an obsession, was during COVID. That he was kind of locked in his house. He's like, I don't know what else I'm going to do, so I guess I'm just going to learn how to play chess and play it really, really well. So he said that he went through a chess phase, and all he did was playing online. He was playing like any chance he could get was playing chess. So now we know how.
Yeah, Jaden Quaintance is smarter than probably all of us combined.
He's also a freak.
He's also 6'10".
Dude, walking up to him and seeing him, I mean, in his chair, just you see his biceps on his biceps, and just this Herculean human being. And this is what he's talking about, playing chess and just sweet old thing. It's like, God bless you. Kind of some non-updates as well on his road to recovery from Pope. It just feels like that's going to happen whenever it happens. Like, we'll kind of find that out when it does. So, any other notable takeaways? What else did you get outside of the walk-ons? The good stuff. Some Big Blue Madness talk. We heard from guys about how excited they were for Big Blue Madness. Are they singing? Are we doing dances and all that stuff? It sounds like Jasper Johnson is going to have the biggest flair, if you will, this coming Saturday. Any other notes that you would like?
I didn't talk to many of them about Big Blue Madness, but you mentioned Yelovich. I talked to him about his recruitment. I tried to talk to a lot of these guys about how that whole recruiting process unfolded, and he told me that there were really no other schools that he was told were involved, because his agent was handling all those calls, and his agent told him, hey, Kentucky's interested, and it didn't seem like there was much of a question after that. Kentucky was interested, and he pulled the trigger right away and wound up at Kentucky. I found that interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting, especially if he becomes an impactful player right away. For him to kind of only be recruited by one school would be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Anything else jump out at you that we need
kind of on the Big Blue Madness note, Pope talked about doing a fan fest thing.
Good point, yeah.
So that's the Saturday of Big Blue Madness. That goes from 12 to 4:30 in one of the convention halls there in Rupp Arena. Does not sound like we will be getting the petting zoo, which was It's funny. That's the petting zoo was only a thing like 2 or 3 years ago, but that was when Jacob first came on with KSR with us. So I have some very fond memories of taking pictures of him patting baby goats on the head. Yeah, they've only done that for 2 years in a row. But yeah, you got to experience. That's all you ever know. So it doesn't sound like that will be happening.
I'm now questionable for Big Blue Madness.
Yeah. Well, you can go to the Jayhawk Madness or whatever the hell they do over there. But he did
Snoop Dogg and lots of stripper poles.
Yeah, that is kind of wild. Looking back that actually happened.
Yeah, totally reasonable.
Yeah, Pope did say that there'd be food, alcohol, all that fun stuff there.
He said
booze first, which I did think was kind of funny. Actually,
he said booths. Booths. Because I thought the same thing.
Wait, did he not say booze?
He said booths.
Oh,
because I thought
it was odd that he mentioned booze.
I was like, Pope's up here going, you're gonna get
hammered at noon on a Saturday.
You're gonna go to Big Blue Madness and get trashed. I was like, that's
okay. So he did say booze.
Booths.
Okay.
Booths.
Well, because he said booze and food, so I was like, okay, booze. That makes more sense. Yep. Maybe the booths will have liquor though, because last year they were still serving alcohol, so I'm sure there'll be alcohol there if you want to. But yeah, so that's going to be the pre-Big Blue Madness situation, 12 to 4:30 at Rupp. I said it's free to the public as well, so
awesome.
Just coming out.
How cool is that? Like
players, and he even said himself and this coaching staff and players will be there as well.
Yeah, totally free, totally like, hey, this is your meet and greet opportunity. I remember last year they did the Club Blue kind of interaction thing where they could meet the players and talk and all that stuff. So this was the fans' first chance to meet this team, go take pictures with Pope. I think that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
No petting zoo though.
No petting zoo. I'm now questionable, but if there's gonna be booze, I might show up.
Just some booze.
Booths of booze. Well, hey, we're just getting started, folks. Like we have Pro Day tomorrow. And then Big Blue Madness on Saturday. Like, can you believe, Zach, that basketball season is here? Thank God, because I cannot bear to watch any of the other sport that's dominating our lives, unfortunately, in the worst way. But man, hey, shout out basketball.
Yeah, shout out basketball. And then right after that, blue-white game next Friday, Purdue exhibition weekend after that, Georgetown exhibition weekend after that. So we are almost pretty much fully within basketball season right now. So we've got a bunch of stuff to write about. We've got probably over almost 2 hours worth of content, I think, probably coming to the KSR YouTube channel, including this rapid reaction from Mark Pope and all the players as well. So some good stuff coming to the website over the next couple days.
Very quick preview of Pro Day. Who are you excited to see? Who is going to be the person that we are talking about once Pro Day wraps up?
Well, I think if you're an NBA scout, you're going to have eyes on a lot of these guys. Like Cam Williams, especially a guy that people are going to be wanting to look at. He's the name that's being mentioned randomly on draft boards as like a potential first-round pick. They're going to want to see, there goes our friend Dylan Ballard. They're going to want to see how he is looking coming over from Tulane. They won't get to see Jaden Quaidance, obviously, but then a guy like Yelovich, you'll actually get to see him in a college setting for the first time. Do we know Otega Owe's status? Will he be participating in this with his toe?
So...
Is that a good question? Is that a
scoop? Here is the latest that
scoop
I heard.
Scoop or scuttle?
Scoop that I've heard that as of Saturday, he did not participate in 5-on-5 live drills, reps, scrimmaging, whatever. But he was a participant in some of the dry stuff, the 5-on-0, loose kind of team drills. So Saturday to Tuesday, what's the kind of gap there? Is that enough to return for live reps? I don't know. I think he's very, very TBD at this point.
Gotcha. And then other guys to look at, they're going to be looking at Jasper Johnson, see how he's going to be transitioning going from high school to college. You're going to be looking at Colin Chandler to see if he's getting to that point where he might already have been in the NBA at this point if he wasn't, taking the 2 years off. So how does he actually look at that stage? Malachi Moreno's another kind of a buzzworthy draft
another
name.
Guy that you just stand next to him, you're like,
yes, he's massive human being. So he's another guy that randomly gets popped up on, first round draft picks, boards and stuff like that. So there's a lot of guys that NBA scouts, I'm sure, will be looking. And take Owe too. You want to see what he's really improved on. Is he added the 3-point shooting? And then Jalen Lowe. Like you could literally, there's 10 players, and it feels like every time new people come into these practices and stuff, they all leave and going, so that Braden Hawthorne kid over there, like, what's the deal with this kid? Like, why is he so? And I think even Pope said that his shoulders are broader than Tayshaun Prince's. They kind of stacked him up against each other recently. So I thought that was very interesting. But yeah, so there's a lot of guys that scouts, NBA pro scouts, will be very, very interested in looking at. Probably 8 or 9 guys, honestly.
Who is the guy that we're going to be talking about once the event wraps up? Is whoa, I didn't expect him to do this, or big surprise.
It might not be a huge surprise, but I'm going to go with Jalen Lowe. I think he's kind of the most consequential from a draft standpoint, where if that's a guy that works himself into NBA draft conversations, then Kentucky's whole trajectory of this 2026 class could change. So he's the guy that I'm watching the most tomorrow, but it might not surprise people because I feel like we're hearing about him every day at this point.
You heard her here first. Trent Noah is who everybody's going to be talking about, who is 1.76 points per possession, according to one Mark Pope, in live competition.
That was over like 2 or 3 weeks as well.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Anything over 1 point per possession is really generally pretty good. So 1.76 is really good. He was another name that was always at the top of that Noah shooting list. It was like him, Yelovich, and Cam Williams every time because it went by like section by section or area by area. Those 3 names were kind of consistently at the top there.
So Trent Noah, I on you, kid. You're gonna be the one that we're talking about as Pro Day wraps up, and we're gonna be wrapping up right here because what an awesome day! Shout out Mark Pope, shout out all the players. It was a great time and very the hospitality. They had lunch prepared for us. Vibes are good around the basketball program, and that's how it should be.